Buy now, pay later, BNPL as it's affectionately called. It's been around for a while, actually, point of sale financing. However, pre-pandemic, it was an asset class, unsecured asset class that achieved a size of just a few $1 billion, according to data sources that we pulse. And then in 2020, it's reportedly exploded to approximately just shy of 40 billion. And there's sources that are forecasting that the anticipated market size will be over 100 billion somewhere between 2024 and 2026. So explosive growth. I believe it was the only unsecured asset class, consumer asset class, that had double-digit growth during the pandemic.
So we've got, I think there's a lot of investment being made, a lot of sort of innovative thinking happening in the payments arena, and that's something which we're excited to be part of going forward.
So coming up this year is going to be changes around buy now, pay later. I think as we see more and more consumer adoption and more fintechs and traditional financial institutions getting into that market, we'll see the growth there and technology changes and companies looking for primarily how to make more money and how to lose less money. So we're going to be looking at risk assessments as well as regulatory assessments, as well as enhancements in loyalty, rewards, also considering how to move from a point of BNPL at the point of checkout to taking the technology and moving it further up in this consumer experience stream.
What we can expect to see in 2022 is with that type of expansion and size, with that comes a number of things that you would expect related to compliance and regulation, risk management, whether it be fraud risk management, potentially credit risk management, those sorts of things.
How do you turn what might be a kind of feature for a customer into something which is, potentially more like a lending product, really? And that's certainly what the regulator is potentially going to be looking at.
Right now, it's kind of up in the air what's going to happen because it's in a gray area, especially from a regulatory standpoint. But as more and more people get into this field, and as there's going to be competition, it's going to squeeze and grow and see a lot of opportunity coming.
So it's very relevant, and I think it'll be something that will be worth pulsing for the next year for sure.
The other thing on the payments landscape that's changing, I think, is crypto. And we know that that's going to happen because we see it as it becomes more and more mainstream and as it becomes part of our daily conversations. How do I know that? Why do I think that? That's a funny question. But when you see things like the McDonald's McRib having an NFT, you see the Staples Center for the Lakers going to be renamed Crypto.com, and you see Aaron Rodgers taking some of his salary in Bitcoin from the NFL, then you know it's becoming part of our everyday culture and part of our language, so things are going to change. What does that look like? There's a lot of questions around what that's going to look like. Everybody's going to want to figure out how to regulate that. Also, there's going to be technology changes around that as well, and process and procedures around that and internal. How do we keep the bad players out? Is going to be a huge question coming up.